All right, we are back. After 2 weeks or so away, we decided we're going to switch up the when the show comes out to come out on Tuesdays, because as you guys know, Tuesday's new video game release day. And
Ah,
as part of that, I've been playing lots of Pokemon, and Tristan has
very.
evolved into Richard.
What?
Hey guys, what's going on?
But
Uh,
but what are his EV stats and everything? What new skills does he have?
well, much like a Pokemon, Richard actually evolved because he knows wrestling because he's part of Scoop Slam over there. So technically, he's very proficient at I don't know, lubing up men.
There you go. I was pitching to Armin one April Fool's Day. We got to just screw with everyone, and we all got to move around the podcast to make it like Armin and I will do Scoop Slam, and Joe and the Scoop Slam guys will do Blood Sweat Comics.
Yeah, the podcast shuffle, that could be fun.
Podcast shuffle, and no one will know what they're actually talking about, so it'll be hilarious.
And
Hey,
then
I read some comics.
There you go.
we can open the show with that fucking annoying "Every Day I'm Shuffling" song, like over and over,
Oh,
because that is that
ah,
still in?
yeah, and the dancing hamsters, right?
There you go.
Ah. So this is the gaming podcast. I'm here with Richard and Joel.
Hello.
Uh,
So we got some news, some stuff to talk about. I figure since it is Tuesday, we're going to do this now, where I just pretty much list you what's coming out the day that this podcast is live on YouTube, and then if there's anything that interests anybody here on the professional panel of us,
We are so professional. I am wearing pants right now.
I'm wearing my gym clothes.
There you
yeah, I
go.
gotta head to the gym like right after this. So yeah, I'm here. So here we go. I'll just list down what's coming out today, and you guys tell me if anything catches your eyes. Dead or Alive 5 Last Around.
They're still making Dead or Alive's okay.
Apparently they are.
I thought
I
those were
lost
like
track.
arcade exclusives or something. I
I
don't even.
know.
I,
Last one I
I will
played was
fully
like
admit.
2 Ultimate on Xbox, the original Xbox.
Oh,
I will fully admit I am not a fighting game expert, and I think if you read the comment section on our Injustice playthroughs, I think you'll be reminded of that.
But Joel, you gotta time the frames or whatever.
You gotta get them invincibility frames, man. We're very popular on the Sure You Can forums, if you didn't know.
Well,
We're
speaking
very
of
popular
that,
on I Play Next.
Dragon Ball Xenoverse is also coming.
Oh shit, is that coming out this
I
week?
know a lot of our fans are huge fans of this game. Like they've been talking about it on the other groups, and just everywhere I look, people are talking about this now. I've played the ones before, like the
Budokai's
Tenkaichis.
and the Budokai.
yeah,
It goes
I've played
Budokai,
those.
then Tenkaichi. Yeah.
Okay, well I played that one.
Yep. I like those ones. They were pretty good spectacle fighters.
From what I'm to understand by looking at it, is like this is like the ultimate fan fiction game.
Yes, it is.
So,
It absolutely is.
thumbs up and high fives for everybody that's excited for this.
You
Uh,
can
Mhm.
create your own character. You can pick from all the races: Saiyan, human, Namekian, whatever the hell
there's a
Frieza's
difference.
race is. Yes, I know, right? There's a difference between humans and Saiyans, and really, who the hell would pick humans? Oh, Jesus! So I can live out my Krillin and Yamcha fantasies.
Since it's an anime, can I be an Avatar or a Attack on Titan?
You basically can, more or less.
So I'm pretty sure they're all the same continuity, according to me.
You,
So,
you can be a Shaman King and a Metabot.
and
Oh
speaking of
man,
franchises like Dead or Alive that I thought were dead and non-existent anymore, Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires.
Those keep coming out. Yep.
Another game that I'm like, wait, that still exists? I don't know.
Yes.
Dude, there is a huge fan base for Dynasty Warrior games. Like, I mean, there is a real big fan
Not
base who
only
like
that,
play
like,
them all and know the differences
it's
between all of them.
it's
Yeah,
the Muso games, like the Muso, the Musou, whatever the hell that genre is, where it's like fast paced, killing thousands of people. Now, before I get to this, I will say Shay and I have been playing Hyrule Warriors, which is Dynasty Warriors
Yeah.
skinned by Zelda, and we're enjoying the
Yes, it
hell
is.
out of that crap.
A
So
lot of people
Okay.
are. A lot of people are.
yeah.
it's good.
It's just not. I haven't played like Dynasty Wars since like PS2 or something. Dude. I don't even.
You know what? I rented the newest one. I actually rented like the newest one before this. Burned through it for an afternoon. Got Maloo Boo fixed. Yeah, it was pretty good. I don't know if I would ever buy
The
one,
last
but
one I got and played was Dynasty Warriors 3 because it came out on PS2 on my birthday. And my parents were like, hey,
Oh,
here's a
nice.
bunch of money. I was like, Dynasty Warriors!
Yeah.
Yeah. Another game that
Did
I'm
you know
pretty.
that's all based on like actual
Oh yeah.
War of the Seven Kingdoms history? Like imagine if they made an American version of that, like George Washington and Lincoln killing thousands of British soldiers in the field.
I think they've made like no, it's gonna be like those terrible like History Channel Civil War games that come out.
Yo.
Well, you know
Oh,
what? Speaking of history games, thank you for that segue. Total War Attila is coming.
Oh jeez.
Now, I'm pretty sure this is unrelated to the Inhumans, so
Yeah. Now that's a game I would play. Total War Terrigen Mist Edition.
yeah.
I will say though, I'm a fan of the Total War games. I've played every single one, so but I'm reserving not getting this one up until probably patch 8 or 9 because all of them are
Yeah.
broken for the first year.
That kind of happens. Remember Civilizations Revolutions when they made a big deal? It's like, oh, this is the first Civilizations game that you can play on your consoles.
They muck that up.
That they kind of, but you know, to this date, that stands as the only Civilizations game I've ever played, and I'm sure all the hardcore RTS people are just like, "Oh, you son of a bitch!"
I hate you
Joel."
because I actually love the last like decade of Civ games. So
Oh, they're really fun. They look good. You know, one of these days, I'm gonna level up. I'm gonna man up, and I'm gonna sit down with Civilizations 5. That is, unless Armin forces me down at gunpoint. It's like, okay, build a civilization. Tell you what, I'll play it if only I can get the Canada mod, which there actually are some really great Canada mods for
I have
Civilization.
full world maps, you know, the places, all the civilization and the correct starting, and like, oh yeah, it's some great mods out there that do this. There's a great one that played on Civ 5. That's Westeros.
Oh,
they
that was
nice.
Make
Jesus.
everything to be like Game of Thrones. It's so fucking good because it's great
And
to
it
take
follows
that.
the history.
It's great to take King's Landing from swords to owning rocket ships. Okay, like come on.
And does it follow like the actual history? Like, you know, it's like at some point in the game, oh, Benjen Stark went to join the Night's Watch, then he disappeared.
There's other mods that go that deep into it for other games too, but I've never experienced with the full conversions. I've never done that.
Jon Snow continued to know nothing.
And speaking of knowing nothing, a game I'm excited for that comes out on February 20th, so not today as you listen to this because Nintendo has a weird release schedule. Kirby and the Rainbow Curse.
Yeah, that looks fun.
I'm gonna buy this for my wife since she loved the hell out of Epic Yarn, and it'll probably get me some points in bed, so I'm not complaining.
There you go.
Yep.
They always
ladies
find new
love,
and interesting stuff for Kirby.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, ladies love the Kirby.
Who
I
doesn't
know
love Kirby?
my
He's
fiance
pink
like-
and round.
Yep.
Yep. So,
Fights an evil penguin named King DDD, who's kind of awesome in his own right.
I'm trying to get that amiibo.
Ah, yeah, DDD amiibos.
Motherfucking amiibo hunt, man. I've been on that thing.
Oh,
You know,
like-
why should you even sell crack at this point when you can just sell amiibos?
It is true. It is true. So we've been wanting to talk about some of this stuff we got here. First, Joel told me to add Bloodborne to the list.
Wait, time
Yeah.
out because you
Okay.
missed a new release.
What'd I miss?
The Order 1886 comes
Wait,
out on
that's
Friday.
That's this Tuesday? Friday?
That's the 20th.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wait,
Friday.
shit,
Oh,
really?
wow.
Oh.
Yeah, that comes
Well,
out
it already
Friday.
leaked online. It already
Yeah.
leaked. Someone put up
I
like a
think-
whole playthrough.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to talk about that, but people are not happy from what I've seen. Some
Okay,
comments
you know,
I've seen.
fine. Let's talk about that because I thought that was oh shit. Okay, Order 1886. It's coming.
Yeah, and I was really excited from what I had seen, but then
Me too.
like Joel said, it leaked, and are you even
Like
mad?
5-hour campaign by the looks of it.
Yeah, that's about it.
Ooh,
And,
okay, so
QTE final boss battle, which thank you for spoiling that for everybody, Matt.
Yeah, I didn't know if we were gonna say that. I was like, Matt's the one that showed me, so. I was
here's
like, "Aw."
here's the thing, right? I mean, 5 hours. So, okay, 5 hours, $60, whatever. I can understand that's a thing, but it's like,
More for Canadians, it's not $60 for me.
right? There are games, of course, that are a lot of QTEs, you know, such as all the Telltale games, right?
Mhm.
But the story is what really wins. Could this be one of the scenarios where the story is really good and you're like, well, because I mean,
Okay.
Only hope, right?
Uncharted takes me like 8 to 9 hours, 10 max if I'm really like stupid. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I say. So whoever played it probably was a little bit more skilled gamer than I am, because it'd probably take me more than 5 hours. Like, I'm not the most skilled gamer there is. But then the problem is that it's a pretty linear game. And like you said, the Telltale games, they're like, quick time events and stuff like that. But they're really
They're
story
also
driven.
they're also
Yeah.
instantly replayable because
Yeah,
you want to see
Yeah,
what your
yeah.
other choices will do.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't think that the Order has those kind of choices where you can go back and change the ending or whatever based on your choices.
And
So
I
that kind of you lose that replay value.
I get what you're saying there, and I think one of the big problems that with the Order now, I'm saying this, I'm kind of trying to play devil's advocate on both sides, just so we can have someone on both sides of the argument.
Oh, we can tell.
It sucks that it doesn't have multiplayer. Now, I'm not the person that goes, well, Uncharted has multiplayer, that sucks, why devote that? But the Uncharted multiplayer was really good, so wasn't The Last of Us.
Yeah, it was.
And it kind of sucks that I'm paying $60 for 5 hours, one and done, and there's no replayability. This to me, and I'm
That
not
we
saying,
know of.
if you're pre-ordering the game, you're buying on day one, that's cool. To me, this might be a rental. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to want it in my collection, but I'm not willing to pay more than like $30 for 5 hours of gameplay if there's no multiplayer. Like, it's just,
I will do what I will always do. I will wait for reviews. I will read them all, and then I will make up my own mind.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like I said, I probably won't pick it up. The last couple big games that have come up, I picked up on launch day. I probably won't pick this one up right away.
Yeah.
You know what's a real killer is thinking to myself, I'm like, this game probably doesn't have New Game Plus, does it? But honestly, if it did, that would probably help it out. Why do so many games not have New Game Plus
I know,
anymore?
right?
Why has that gone away? I loved, artificially lengthening the game to be like, look, we're going to let you start over again with all the skills and all the weapons you accumulated, and you can just beast past all the stuff that gave you a
Or
hard
do like
time.
New Game Plus Extreme Mode where everything is, you get to keep the weapons, but like the basic enemies are now smarter and they can take way more damage. Yeah, I love that shit.
It gives me a reason to play through it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Play through the
You know who
game.
goes absolutely crazy with that? Dark Souls 2. There was
Oh, yeah.
so much content that was just in the New Game Plus mode, like in your second playthrough. It was ridiculous. To some people are like, wow, it's like you got to play it through once just to get to the real game.
Jeez. Yeah. So there's that on Order. I guess we'll talk about it more once. I think Tristan is playing on day one. I might rent it. I don't know yet, so we'll see.
I don't have a good rental place anymore.
So a
Yeah.
few of the things we got to talk about here is, Joel, why'd you tell me to add Bloodborne to the list? What's new with Bloodborne?
Okay, we got to see 18 minutes of gameplay from it, like the very beginning.
I thought we talked about that already, but it's been so long since we haven't had a podcast. 2 weeks, I
Absolutely.
guess we haven't. All right, let's talk about it.
Okay, so we got that, and then we also got the director doing a little commentary over it. So yeah, again, keeps true to the whole Soul series thing, but they've basically reinvented the wheel in so many ways to this, with the fact that you can have a weapon in one hand and a gun in the other. And because they're downplaying the importance of shields this time around, basically your gun will, if you're lucky, knock them back, maybe stun them, and then you can get some more attacks in, and hopefully don't die. The Victorian setting is also really cool. There's no classes anymore. There's no classes. There's only backgrounds that you pick now, like, violent childhood or, waste of flesh or stuff like that.
I like all the changes I'm hearing about Bloodborne that are different from the Dark Souls and Dead Souls series. So super excited. Yeah, I'm gonna get the game. Hopefully, it doesn't own my ass.
It's gonna own your ass, because here's the thing: in that first 18 minutes, they set you up against a werewolf with no weapon, and you die right away.
Awesome.
Yeah, the
See,
game is like,
I can't
dude,
I can't have fun like that. I'd get too frustrated and be like, I wasted my money.
Yeah.
well, it's like, well, again, that's the appeal of these games. It's like, look, we're gonna beat you until you love us. Essentially, we
I
are the
bought-
Mike Tyson of gaming.
I bought, what was it, Demon Souls 2, I think, or whatever, and
Yeah.
I waited for it to be on Steam sale, and I got into it. I'm like, oh, I'm ready. I want to see what all the hype's about. This is it. And like, I played for about 2 hours, and it just didn't grip me. Like,
It's
I wasn't
because
feeling
you gotta unlearn everything other games have taught you. You gotta
Right,
basically play it the way it
I'm
wants.
having trouble understanding, like, an enemy's coming at me, and he swings his sword, and I gotta dodge. Then I gotta dodge for another 30 seconds, then dodge for another 45 seconds, then get 2 hits in, then back away. And it's like, that's not even the boss fight. That's like the middle tier
That's
enemy
just a
you gotta
middle
do that
tier.
with.
Again, Pat from the Two Best Friends coined a phrase that I absolutely love for playing Dark Souls, and it's slow and lame. You need to play this game slow and lame if you want to win. But Bloodborne actually looks to be going the other way completely, because there's a new system in now that if you hit an enemy in the right time, or if you get like a counter hit on him, you get some health back. So
Ooh,
they actually
okay.
pushed the idea to play hard and fight hard. And again, too, they said there are actually going to be shields in the game, but you can't play it like you did Dark Souls and Demon Souls, because if you play defensive, you're gonna die. Yeah, I know, right?
Well, I'm super excited. I'm pretty sure right before the release of that game, we're going to talk way more about it on this show. And when we inevitably get it, we'll play about it. Talk about it, all that good stuff.
We
But
can help each other out. We can jump into each other's games and we can watch each
True.
other die.
true. And on the other side of also the Japanese gaming market, Capcom officially announced that Resident Evil HD Remake is their best-selling digital game ever and
You don't
fastest
say.
selling on PlayStation. Now, Capcom, you fucking idiots. If this doesn't indicate that people want the old Resident Evil
Yeah.
back, then what the hell else do you need? Like,
Yep.
it's survival horror.
You know how they're gonna fuck it up? They're gonna be like, hey, let's remake Zero next. Oh no, wait, no one bought Zero? Well, shit, I guess no one likes these remakes. No more remakes forever
I'm
now.
glad you actually say that, Joel, because Zero was actually spotted as an HD remake in one of their videos where they're scrolling through menus and it shows up on a PlayStation UI.
You don't say. So they are probably gonna remake Zero next.
And I
Well,
think more people are going to be willing to give Zero a chance just because they want more survival horror. And honestly, Zero was probably the hardest Resident Evil I've ever played. So, I mean, it didn't even have inventory boxes. If you put something down, you have to remember where it is or you're fucked. So you put down a key, it's like, oh, okay, I can't just teleport these shit, through boxes.
Yeah. We can only hope Capcom learns their lesson where it's like, hey, we would like a return of Resident Evil. We would like less boulder punching, please. Less whatever the hell was going on in 6.
I don't know. Something.
It's like, explain the story of Resident Evil 6. Can't do it.
I don't know. Zombies, 3 characters, giraffe sex.
There was a dinosaur at some point, I think.
Oh.
Anyway, Titanfall 2 won't be Xbox exclusive, so I'll actually have people to fucking play with.
I know, right? Surprise, surprise.
I wanted to play Titanfall, but I have PS4, so
Same
there
here.
you go.
Here you go, Richard. You're going to buy an Xbone because you've been talking about it. You
Yep.
get Titanfall, you. We'll make Titanfall Tuesdays. That's 2 people. That means there's at least another 100 on the server at night.
2 people for Titanfall Tuesdays.
No,
this
I'll-
22nd.
I'm not kidding, though. Like, at peak hours, you'll find, 20,000 people on there. If you're trying to play at, like me, when I play, 2, 3 in the morning, American Eastern Time,
Yep.
there's literally, 3,000 people on worldwide.
It's Armin and the Tumbleweed sitting there playing Titanfall.
It really is. It's depressing. Some of the DLC game modes, I shit you not, there are 8 players in them in the entire world.
No.
I just imagine you try and tap a guy on the shoulder, you think he's a player, hey, you want to play some Titanfall? But then he turns to dust right in front of you. Or he was a ghost all along.
Give it 5 years, it's still going to be me on Titanfall and 3 other people just going, come on, fill up the room.
Just Armin and the Legion of the Dead. They're playing Titanfall.
I'm gonna buy more Xbones when they go cheaper and just hook them up and artificially run Titanfall on all of them to make it look like it's more full than it is.
There you go. That's a solid plan. I like this idea.
Oh shit! So yeah, Titanfall 2. I'm excited. Hopefully it's as good as the first one, but includes an actual story mode. So that'd be nice.
That would be nice. Good campaign modes are always welcome. Even though Titanfall did try and do something different, where it's like, no, you play online, and the story is laid before you as you play online.
Well, let's speak about that because there's a game that came out last week or 2 weeks ago now, I think at this point, that stirred up a lot of people's rustled them jimmies up real nice, and that's Evolve.
Yes.
Now, Evolve is a game I've put probably close to 30 hours into now. I know Richard's been playing, and we've been playing online. We've been playing with Carlton from the Anime Podcast and Scoop Slam.
So you're playing it the way it's supposed to be played with other people.
Yes, and I think me and Richard are both gonna preface this right now with that. if you have people you're going to play with, get the game because it's
Yeah.
really fun.
If you're gonna play solo, don't bother.
Yeah,
I would say
no.
don't bother.
No.
It's the Left 4 Dead problem, and again, it's Turtle Rock Studios, the same people who made Left 4 Dead 2, so of course.
Yeah, but there's a giant split in the community between this game, and what I'm talking
absolutely.
about is you go online and the reviews are generally favorable, and I think me and Richard agree. The gameplay is solid. The levels are like well balanced and they're beautiful looking. The moment to moment gameplay when you're tracking down the monster and he can try to get the upper hand by, doubling back on his tracks and all that, and when you tag him and he starts running, it's so fun. Like, you really get into it. Like, I know last night me, Richard, and Carlton were literally chasing this monster, and he was almost playing tricks with us. Like, he would double back and throw a rock and run away. Like, it was really well executed. But
Now, I'm glad you said that, because I've heard some interesting stuff too, where I forget who said it, but it was something to the effect of that the way this game is built, it's only like one team can have fun at one time, because it's like either you're the hunters and you're doing really good, or you're the monster and you're stealthing around and doing really good.
Yeah. One or the other. If you're balanced in choreography, everything, and you're trying to set up the traps and tossing down the shields, and one dude, preferably the tank, is like baiting them with the heavy rockets and stuff. It's really well done, and the monsters really got to be on top of their game. But most of the negativity comes from the DLC, which,
Absolutely.
Richard, you said you bought the season pass, right?
Yeah, I ended up getting the season pass. Just it was convenient, so I got it.
Even though there's going to be $130 worth of material that you're not going to be getting because it's not included in the season pass. Ain't that some horse shit?
Here's the thing. It's not included, but none of the DLC matters. It's all skins.
Yeah. It's just a bunch of... I was looking through it. It's skins. Gun skins, monster skins, character skins. It's like, okay.
But when you buy a season pass, that used to mean something. When I got the season pass, that means I get everything.
Yeah. I mean, but like I said, I would be a little bit I don't know. Call of Duty does the same thing, and so many people play that. You can go get the bacon skin for your gun.
Right.
And I bought season passes, and I don't think you get that. You get the maps and the,
also
and the weapons
games like Team Fortress 2,
mm-hmm.
or, League of Legends and stuff like that. They sell cosmetic hats and all that, and people buy those for $300-$400 a pop.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, well...
Hats are cool.
But I mean, looking at this, I've looked at all the DLC, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, none of this changes the game. Not to mention that the game already has, 15, 16 maps, which are all very well made, and every game mode changes how you look at the map and play it. Not only that, there's factors into the maps. I know last time we were playing, it's it's going to be, no rain, but these birds are out. And when these birds, are easier to home in on the monster and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, the maps are constantly evolving if you're winning or if you're losing to favor one or the other. So, the game's always keeping up being dynamic and stuff. I'm I'm really enjoying it, but I understand why people are pissed at the DLC. And I would be too, honestly, because I hate DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Only if it was oh, well, this map is $10. This map is $5. This monster is $10. I would be pissed, but there's none of that. There is none. It's the useless DLC.
You know who does DLC right just recently? Hyrule Warriors actually does it right, because they just give you shit in the updates, shit that would normally be locked off as DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
so hey, everyone else, take a page out of Nintendo's playbook. Start doing DLC. I don't hate DLC as a concept. I just hate the whorish gouging of DLC, and it doesn't get much better in this case because Evolve, as I mentioned in a past episode, the first thing we heard about this game was, hey, before the game was even announced, here's the DLC for it, which isn't great when you're trying to launch a new IP. Now, you were saying, Armin, where it's well, people deal with it all the time when it's Call of Duty and when it's Assassin's Creed, when they pull the same shit. And really, the only answer I could come back with for that is yeah, but we're pretty much used to it at this point that COD and AC are going to try and gouge us for every penny.
The moment Assassin's Creed Unity was announced, they said pre-order the season pass, and here's these 2 exclusive, alternate realities. Hell, no one is giving Arkham Knight bullshit, and that has, pre-order at GameStop, and this was announced the official day they announced the game. Harley Quinn playable here, Arkham Knight, or Red Hood prequel playable here. Exclusive Batmobile mission over here. Amazon has this. That game has so much pre-order DLC and a season pass that's going to include this and that. And they said, other stuff is going to be outside. I'm just like, well, is this game just under fire because it's a brand new IP?
I would. That's probably the new IP thing.
It's a new franchise or whatever. It's like Arkham Knight, the Batman Arkham series. That's kind of established. Call of Duty's established. Assassin's Creed. So people know what they're in for now. I guess.
Plus,
they've just accepted it.
I think people are more scared too for what Evolve could possibly represent down the line, where it's like in many ways this could have kind of was the straw that broke the DLC camel's back, where a lot of people are just throwing up their hands at this point to maybe no fault of Evolve on its own, but it's just kind of like, really, we're at the point now where even if I buy the season pass, I don't get everything. What the hell, game industry?
Yeah.
Which I can totally understand that anger, and again, it's going to be a thing too, where it's like, hey, you can get it all if you buy the complete edition in a year and a half.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yep, that's how it is. And I mean, I'm going to say this. I really love the hell out of Evolve. I wouldn't be playing as much as I do, especially for a multiplayer game, which I pretty much hate multiplayer. I hate playing with people. So It's good. It's typical Left 4 Dead style. There's no single player campaign, but the story's peppered through while you play. The characters will talk about their history and interactions on other planets and stuff. So that's how you have to piece together this world and the universe. And it's cool, but it's cheap,
Yeah,
right.
What you said is kind of like the same way Titanfall did it, like that kind of. I never played Titanfall, but you said something like that earlier. So is it going to go the same way? Like, is this game going to die out in a few months? I'm like, oh, I hope not, because I think it's cool, and I think it can add a really cool especially the evacuation, a competitive mode. That's kind of cool. It's a competitive game. It's not Call of Duty, for once.
I think. Right now, the way I see this game is the same way I see Titanfall for myself. I'm not going to sell it. I'm not going to trade it in. I'm going to keep it here, and every week I'm going to put it in for a few hours, have a good time in about a month, because after all this initial hype and all the, I put in 100 hours, wears off. But it's definitely a game I'm going to keep around, and if they release DLC, it's like, 3 new maps, a new monster, and a new character for $10. I'm like, yeah, that game has earned enough hours that I'm willing to toss down another $10 and go back into it for another 50 hours. So
yeah, fair enough.
I'm definitely, this is a game that I can't preface enough. If you have friends that are willing to get this, or you guys want to play with a few of us CBC people, because I've played it with a few fans already that had it. Like, hey, I don't have anybody to play with. I'm like, all right, jump on with me. It's really fun, and I think they'll really agree that if you have people to play with, do it up, because you won't be disappointed. It's that fun. I haven't had multiplayer fun in a long time, and this game's doing it, so.
Very nice.
Yep. So, with that in mind, that's what me and Richard have been playing. Anybody else been playing anything else?
I am still in the middle of my quest to complete the Dragon Age series. I am now. I just got into the second act of Dragon Age 2, and yeah, pretty much everything you said is true now. The repeated assets, making you run levels backwards, forwards, and sideways, and hoping you wouldn't notice.
Yep.
Also, the fact, too, is that I got, the complete edition loaded up with all the DLC and everything, so I've got DLC weapon and armor and special, trinkets for all my teammates. I've only died once, and it was against the big rock raid monster.
That's another thing. Dragon Age Origins was a game that famously had over 30 pieces of DLC on launch day, and only 2 were included if you pre-ordered the game. You literally had giant, substantial pieces of the character, like the Golem rock monster, locked away.
You couldn't get Shale, and you could. Okay, that was even more insidious, because the first time you go to your camp, you meet a Grey Warden guy, and he's like, there's this really amazing, keep out there filled with magical weapons and fun times. Bet you want to go there? Yeah, I totally want to go on that quest. Give me money for DLC. Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, that's what happened with me. I actually get to the keep, I'm walking in, and as you're about to walk to the door, they're like, oh, you haven't purchased this. Would you like to? I check it's $14.99. I was like, go fuck yourself.
The fact that they gate it like that is such horse shit.
And I'm glad you're noticing the faults in Dragon Age 2, because I know that game has a lot of diehard defenders, and I'm like, did we play the same game? Like,
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, again, there are some stuff I like about it. I like, again, that some characters have like unique armor sets and gear sets and everything. I kind of like the sliding scale of friendship versus
hmm
rivalry and how you can unlock different stuff. I love Varric. Varric is great.
oh
I would
yeah.
have loved to have played that game just as Varric, and I can understand why they brought him
Don't
back for
worry. Yeah,
Inquisition.
he's way better in Inquisition.
Awesome. That's cool. I'm romancing Isabella. She's my pirate waifu.
All right, so you're doing that. Richard, what else you been playing?
Before I picked up Evolve, I picked up Dying Light, and it's pretty fun. I like it. I was having a lot of fun until I was playing a couple days ago, and I think they released a patch, and then I started falling through the map and getting stuck everywhere. I'm like, wait, this
See,
game was working great before, and now it's stopped.
I saw you post that, and then I went around just to see the response because Shay really loves zombie stuff, so she wants me to get it. And I've seen ever since that patch came out an increased reports in like players complaining about the game, saying they've collected certain items but trophies are unlocking or
Yeah,
complete
that's another
wipes
problem.
of
'Cause
everything. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, because I play co-op with another friend of mine, and we were sitting there, going trophy hunting, and he's like, "Yeah, like I've rescued 15 survivors from the main antagonist," and he's like, "But I haven't got the trophy, so I'm just gonna keep." He's like, I looked up online, some people had to do 25 before they would get the trophy, and I was like, well, that's kind of a bummer, like. And I was actually like really liking the game, like I said, until I started glitching through the map. I was playing co-op, and then there's on PS4, there's a fast travel option. You hold the touchpad, and so I was like, oh, let me catch up to you. I'll fast travel so we can continue the story. I fast travel. It shoots me to this middle of this elevator shaft
Oh
with no way to
no.
get out. And I'm like, I can't climb because that game's all about parkour. I can't parkour it out my way out of there. So I'm like, okay, let me just try and kill myself. Nope, because I would jump, and then I could only fall in it, leave me with 1 health. And I'm
Oh,
like, well, I'm stuck. So I had to reset the game.
oh my
Video
God.
games, the only place where
Yeah.
killing yourself is a good solution.
Yeah,
And
that's
see, we're talking about all this DLC and glitchy games, and meanwhile, Shay and I have been since we bought a Wii U, we've been on a huge Wii U kick. So we have been playing Hyrule Warriors, which I'm loving the
Yep.
hell out of. New Mario New 3D World, which is like the one with the cat suits and stuff. We've
Yeah,
been
that
trying
one's
to
really
like
fun.
perfect every level and do the speed runs. Every night we play for about an hour. Still not bored. We've been playing Mario Kart. Uh, f- I, that's pretty much what I've been doing. Evolve and a bunch of Nintendo games, and since I'm on a huge 24 watching binge. I've gone
Nice,
back and I'm
nice.
playing through all the Splinter Cells, and
Oh,
boy,
cool.
oh, I mean, Splinter Cell is my favorite game series of all time. So yes, I'm one of those people. I know a lot of people get like, wait, what? I really love that series, like everything. I was on board with it when when the demo came out on an Xbox disc. So, and I just love how those games are, stealth. And I love playing with the environment, just killing people from the dark. It's great.
You know what I love about the Splinter Cell series is that we've had it for so long now we could actually see culture and perceptions change to where before it's like, hey, Sam Fisher works for the NSA. The NSA are your friends, everybody.
Uh-huh.
And then that whole Snowden thing comes out and it's like, oh no, the NSA doesn't feel like my
Yeah,
friend.
that's the thing. The game evolves with it, and also it's a testament to how gaming has evolved because you start Splinter Cell 1, and it's very hardcore stealth. Like, you step on a piece of glass, they hear you, you're fucking dead. Like, you got 100% stealth it. And then they get a little lenient, and then around the third one, it's a little more fantastical of, like, these government, having, like, almost mech, like, Metal Gear type of things.
Oh,
And then
nice.
it goes into double agent where it's like, oh, you're playing a double agent in the Middle East, and you can really play on each side, and it's really murky. But then after that, it changes to almost Call of Duty in third person mode
Yeah,
because
I
Call
saw
of Duty was a big thing. And then the newest one is back to, oh, you can choose the sides, you could do a Call of Duty style, and you'll get
that. Looks
noticed. The
very
people
blood
take,
money.
right. But then you can also play the new game 100% stealth. So I really love seeing how Splinter Cell has evolved with the times of games, and it's
Yeah.
also another reason why it's still one of my favorites because. And you can literally pinpoint the game and what other games came out around the time because it's taken influence from them. And also the TV shows and stuff. Like, it's just like, to me, Splinter Cell is something I've always been a fan of. And unless they completely F it up, which Convictions was pretty much it, I'll still love the hell out of it. Because Convictions was a good game. So that's it for me. That's what I've been playing. Anything else anybody's been playing?
What else?
I'm still working on Far Cry 4. I don't know if I said this before, but I was playing it one night and I got to the big message came up on screen and they're like end of Act 2 and I'm like fuck off. I've got this since Christmas and I'm only now reaching the end of Act 2. Have I really been screwing around in the overworld that much? Have I really just been liberating outposts and picking plants and hunting animals? And I'm like yeah, I guess I have.
Yeah, I've been playing that about once a week for about 3 or 4 hours of sitting when Shay's playing Kingdom Hearts 2 on the PS3 or whatever, and over the shoulder, I'm like, shut the fuck up. Stop singing Under the Sea, you son of a bitch.
Under the
I
sea.
swear to
Oh,
God,
God.
that's the only part of that game I've ever seen her do. The arena and those motherfuckers singing Under the Sea.
And they make you do that in like every one. There's like musical mini games in freaking Atlantis, or
God.
sorry, Atlantica.
Damn it, Shay.
You just don't understand the Kingdom Hearts like we do, man.
Wow.
You're a heartless Armin. You're already heartless Armin.
That game isn't as mainstream as the comics too underground, so
It's true.
I need comics made of, like games made on the comics I read.
No, it's funny. Like I think you were bitching about Roxas in another thing, and I was gonna blow your mind. I'm like, hey Armin, did you know Roxas is just the letters of Sora mixed around it with an X in there?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, because I know he's like his alternate or whatever the fuck.
Every nobody had a name once, but it's just their letters moved around with an X put in there.
That's
Yeah.
so fucking retarded.
Well, it's funny because it's like, how did someone figure this out? I'm like, oh, so it means someone actually sat down and unscrambled all these letters from all these fantasy names.
Yeah. Well, I'm just like I watch over Shay's shoulder and she's playing. She's like, "Oh my God, this is what happened." I'm like, "I don't care, Shay." And then she starts telling me, "I'm like, Shay, I'm gonna punch you in the head. Stop telling me this bullshit." Like,
You were talking about Christopher Lee there because Christopher Lee plays one of the characters
yeah.
in those games. And I broke it to them. Like, Christopher Lee only does one takes on those games, and when he fucks up, they have to get David K to come in and fix it. Yeah, like David K was telling me this when I interviewed him. He's like, and then Christopher Lee came in and was like, okay, I'm going to do this one time, so you better get it.
That's
And-
awesome.
And he's Christopher Lee. He's friggin' Sauron.
Yeah, I'm
he's
not-
killed people.
Dude, I'm gonna say that dude has stabbed people with a sword. He's so old. I'm not gonna tell him that he's fucking wrong. Okay.
You're not going to say, like, hey, Christopher, can we do that one more time? No, you are going to let him do it one day. And then you are going to pay him in cash right there. Oh, God, did you know Christopher Lee sings metal online?
What?
Yeah, he sings metal. Like, one of his friends is in a metal band. Check out, he sings this song, I come for the blood of Saxon men. He's dressed up like a king, and his friend is doing, like, death metal riffs, and he's just singing about the Saxon men. It's friggin' amazing.
I think I've seen that. Okay,
It's
yeah.
really- that's your homework, kids. Go check out Christopher Lee's metal songs. He did that for you, everyone.
That sounds amazing.
It is amazing. It's like, it's like the internet can be a sewer sometimes. It can be filled with a lot of
Whoa,
bullshit.
whoa. Sometimes.
Okay, most of the time.
You
And then
realize this is where we do our work. It's pretty much the scummiest place in the world.
it's basically the cantina, never a more wretched hive of scum and villainy will you find. And I know because we're here. And but then you see Christopher Lee singing metal, and then it's like, you know what? Everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be A-okay.
The world's a little bit better now.
It's a little bit brighter.
So with that in mind, we're gonna wrap up this show. Make sure you guys let us know what you thought of Richard. Maybe we can bring him in as a fourth chair, that we can have all sorts of discussions around this.
Yeah, I would totally enjoy that.
He can
around
be an
this
assist.
place.
We can tag him in.
Yeah, exactly. We'll cross this over with Scoop Slam. I'll tag him in occasionally, and
Like you said, we gotta do the podcast shuffle.
There you go. It's the podcast shuffle. Hey, you know what? If Richard and Tristan get really good, they'll muscle me and Armin out. Then it'll just be their show.
someone else wants this show. Take it. I'm gonna go do more hipster stuff.
It's happened before. Need I remind you when Blood Sweat Comics was me, him, and Josh Hybrid
True.
in the bad days, in the long, long ago,
In a galaxy far, far away.
far away.
So with that in mind, we're going to shuffle on out of here. Let us know if you guys picked up any of these games, what you guys have been playing in the last couple weeks. And as always, generic sign off.
There you go.
Hey guys, Joel here reminding you that this video was made possible thanks to our many great patrons. If you want to become a patron and get exclusive Comic Book Cast content, then click the Patreon link below and see how you can help us bring you the content you've come to love. Every little bit helps, and thanks for listening.